Okay, we're again in the one bedroom Lugard twin cabin. We're going to look at the inside now and the fitting of the membranes and the stabilising boards or the stabilising posts. So looking at the wall now, all you want to do is simply roll it out with a staple gun and staple the membrane to the inside of the walls. You'll notice down here from previous videos that we've now folded the DPC up on the outside of this. So the DPC is down here originally, laid down flat, membrane goes across, make sure it's all nice and clean inside, fold the DPC up and staple it in. And then take that right the way up to the roof, all the way around. Okay, so that is as simple as the membrane is. Moving quickly on now to the stabilising posts. So the stabilising posts are wherever there are joins. These ones here are 90mm to allow for the 90mm in the stud work that goes for your internal walls. And you'll also find, as well as on the joins, they're always in the corners as well. Some of the cabins you might find on a long wall, they're in the middle there. So the idea of the stabilising posts is that on a 44mm especially, you can have a bit of a continuity effect that they zigzag in and out very, very slightly. To the eye you won't see it. When you put a straight edge against that, then you can see that it just pulls them back in and straight. So that's the main difference between a 44mm wall and a 68mm wall. Not so much on the thermal values. It's not a massive benefit to choose 68 over 44. 68mm is obviously, it's thicker and it's more stable, so structurally it's a bit better. But once all your boards are on the inside, a little bit of messing around with clamps gets it all right if there is a little move in the walls. So get your posts up against them, even out the gap between the top and the bottom, pre-drill them, and then just stick your coach bolts through. And you'll find that in the corners, especially when you only have a little one, it really brings it all up tight and it does what it needs to do, really. It's like what it says on the tin, it's a stabilising post and it stabilises the corners and it stabilises all of the end walls. So after the stabilising posts, we're then looking at our stud work. So we're starting here on the window. It's always a good idea, before you start fitting all of these, just to make sure you measure all of your windows and then measure all of the gaps where the windows are going in. So you really want a 10mm gap all the way around. So if you've measured your window for here and it isn't quite 10mm, sometimes you find you need to take the tongue off of the tongue and groove of the boards, and that's where it is. So it's really important just to double check them measurements. Widths are usually all really good. Lengths, sometimes not allowed to take that tongue off, and it's really hard to take that off as a long post in the kit form. So check your measurements. When your measurements are correct, you'll see here now they've started with a clamp. So the clamp then will see if there is a 2 or 3mm deviation in vertical, and then you wind in your screws. So you want a minimum of 5, average is around about 6. You only tend to use more if you find that there is one of the boards that has to zigzag out a little bit, and you'll put another one in each of them. So you can wind these all the way in with a clamp and bringing these in. So start on your windows, and then when you put the rest in, get an offcut of your insulation, and then put your next board against it. Then when you come to fitting your insulation, it's nice and easy. The only ones you're going to have to do is when you get odd sections and little bits that get towards the end. So stud work, 5 to 6 screws, clamping them, check your distances, stabilising posts at the ends and all the corners, breathing membrane all the way around, making sure that the DPC is folded up inside. Okay.